it's reindeer. You know, I had to have the holiday spirit, and the
Yeah.
and the socks are trees on
Look at that.
trucks.
Well, at least you're wearing pants.
I am. We're not going to ask Greg for a pants check.
I don't think he's on audio yet.
Nope,
He's got the
can't hear Greg.
he's got the frowny face.
I'm not sure what he's
And
looking
what is
at.
it with these microphones? Is it like, bigger or whatever? Or?
No, it's just professional. We're trying to be as professional as we possibly can.
Gotcha.
Chuck, it's microphone envy.
That's it, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at.
We can get you one, it's not that difficult.
I'll pass on that action.
Okay. All right. Greg, can you hear us okay? I can't hear you. We're in record. For those of you joining us.
What about now? Can you hear me
I
now?
got you now, yeah.
Yep, there you are.
Okay.
Now?
How about audio? How are you hearing us? You got a headset on?
I can hear you fine. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good.
I'm going to run without headset today.
Oh, boy. Okay, he's rolling the dice.
As long as there's no feedback on your end, if you can't hear yourself when I cut out.
No, you're fine. So far, so good. Yeah. That's how Zoom does it. Good stuff. All right, are we ready?
Sure.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. So, all right. Stand by. By the way, last week's show, I don't know if you listened to it on the replay, we were like a minute and a half heavy. So I have a feature on my Final Cut when I put this together where I can compress it. Normally I'll compress up to about 105, 105%. I compressed it 107% to get everything in. And I don't know if you noticed, it did sound just a little faster than normal. But I'll try to edit a little bit and a little more.
You'd have to listen to that on live, right? Because
playback.
Post video wise, it doesn't get compressed.
Won't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just caffeinated. That's all.
That's right.
Sunday morning caffeine.
That's it. Waking me up. All right. This is the show the week before. Christmas is coming up this coming Thursday. Am I right?
For the show purpose, yes.
Yeah, for show purpose, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it
Friday.
For all purposes?
No.
Friday, yeah.
Isn't Christmas next Thursday?
Thursday.
9 days. Friday.
Right, but it's going to be. This is airing Sunday morning, so this is going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve is Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas.
Yeah, whatever.
Friday. Yeah.
Oh, Friday. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So let me clap this just for a little slate. I actually have a slate from Universal Studios at home, believe it or not. I should probably draw it out. But anyway, okay. Here we go, guys. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Happy holidays to you. This is Medley-Sokoler, and this is the Louisville Real Estate Show. Here with you for the next step to the top of the hour. And with us, this pre-holiday show, the pre-Christmas show, we've got Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499. Good morning. 499-6360. Chuck does phenomenal closings. I'm just telling you, I've had closings with him multiple times, many, many times. Great guy, entertaining, makes them go quickly and very efficiently. So if you're looking to a closing, a will, and as Chuck likes to say, let me see if I get this right, if he can't do it, he knows someone who can.
If he doesn't do it.
Okay, if he doesn't.
If I don't do it, I know who does.
Okay, there you go.
Because I can do anything.
You can. And
absolutely.
Do it well. Also here, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, so the #1 home team inspection service in the country. You can reach them at their new number, by the way. Make note, 844-411-TEAM. And they come in like a team, and they do their job quickly and efficiently.
Fast and efficient, like this Sunday morning.
You better believe it. And for those of you who also know, my son Greg is joining us. The fourth voice, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. Point out, if you'd like to see a replay of the show, we record it from our Zoom recording here, from each of our offices and homes and studios, and then it goes up to Zoom. Then I push it up over to YouTube, which is where it's airing on YouTube, and you can go there and see it for yourself. LouisvilleAnswers.com. LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's a redirect to our YouTube channel. And you'll be able to see what Brad is wearing today, which is a bit unusual. I guess it's a formality as up and for the holidays, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm dressed for radio, Bob. I've got the reindeer bow tie thing going on. I got the Christmas socks. You know, I just tried to get in the festive spirit for today.
And you've actually tied your own tie, have you
Yeah.
not?
Oh, of course. Yeah. No
Not a clip-on. It's
clip-ons for this
All right.
inspector.
He's
No.
a man.
Up first, 3 reasons that we and hopefully you are all optimistic about real estate in this coming year as we get ready to celebrate both the holiday Christmas and New Year's the week after. The economy, for example, number one, is expected to continue to improve. That's at least to really a wide variety of economic indicators. Also, interest rates are projected to stay low. We're hearing different things, but at least halfway through 2021, they'll stay low. Future home sales are forecasted to grow, especially with a lot of people who are looking to either build or buy resales. And so the bottom line is experts are forecasting that buyers and sellers are going to be active in 2021. And if you've thought about buying or selling your home this year but have held off, well, 21 is the time, especially with the vaccine on the forefront. 2021 is the year to make that happen. All right. Let's go to some problems, questions, concerns that we have. And the first one that we are working with, we are actively working with this problem. And Chuck, you know about it because I think one of our clients called you. And imagine this, folks, holiday time, your house is sold and we sold it. House is sold. And then you get wind that the home that you're buying, the owner has decided they don't want to sell. Yep. So the client has done the inspection. We've worked through that. The appraisal's been done. We've worked through that. And now we're at a point of purchasing, and the buyer, my client of this house, the guy's saying, nope, not going to sell now. He decided not to. Chuck, this is not a common problem, but it happens.
It does happen.
So for legal advice, what would you advise this particular person and all others?
Well, in this particular case, we suggested that they contact an attorney that does real estate litigation, because clearly if he won't sell, that's where this is going to end up. I mean, there's always the obvious 3 remedies. Court can say, hey, you have to sell it. Doesn't really happen often at all, especially with residential. There's damages. Seller or the buyer has to go get a new home. There's going to be extra costs. There's going to be a difference in price on houses. The difference between the new house is going to be damages, presuming that they're roughly the same. And then there's agents that are going to have commission claims here. So it's just an all-around bad position to put yourself in without some sort of reason.
The problem that we're hearing is that the attorneys that my client has gone to, either they're so swamped they can't get involved in it, or they want a lot of money up front as a retainer.
Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah.
That does happen. But, you know, on the radio show, we can only speak hypothetically.
Right.
And hypothetically, there is definitely a cause of action here.
You know, that's what we're suggesting to the client to do, is to take that action. All right, moving on, for Brad, and actually for all of us, Greg, also Chuck, we all have garbage disposals, and we use them. I don't know about you guys. I'm using it every day.
Yeah.
There are some ways to extend the life and some myths about garbage disposal. So just think, I know Chuck likes to cook. He's an amazing cook. Brad, from your standpoint, one of the myths has been to only run a disposal for short spurts of time. You're shaking your head no. Tell us.
Yeah, no, that is not a good idea. You want to run the garbage disposal long enough that all of the debris can get cleared out. And after you stop the disposer, and that's, you know, once the sound is all gone away, you don't hear any more grinding, let it go, you know, at least another 10 seconds, 15 seconds, but keep the water running. You need to flush those pipes out.
Wait, Brad, wait. What you're saying is that the noise is supposed to stop? Because in my household, there's always that noise of metal still going from something that was chewed up Could be
But
a penny. You know,
don't do
the
that.
spoons and all that. You know, that's
a
and that
medicine
gets
dropper or
you.
something.
No, it's not, Greg. It's not going to sharpen the blades. So there are no
Okay,
blades
that was my next
inside.
question.
No,
That was my next question.
don't do that. But yeah, the biggest trick after that though is make sure that you run water for an extensive amount of time. There are fibrous foods that will clog up pipes, eggshells. I can tell I've got plenty of experience,
Seen
you know,
that,
with
yeah.
clogged up pipes with eggshells. But just flush them with just cold water. You don't need hot water going through there. That just loosens up all of the oils and greases and moves them down throughout your pipes.
All right. Myth number 2 is that garbage disposals are not good for septic systems.
You know, I don't. They work fine. Modern disposer does chops up the particles very fine. I don't think you're going to fill up your septic tank any sooner by the small amount of food particles and food waste that you're pushing through the disposer. I've heard people say that they would never use it and they use a waste bucket or a compost bin. That's okay.
That's a
But
good point, though. I never, you know, I guess I've never been on septic, but you know, I never thought of that as far as just any waste, anything. Period. You know, a lot of people just throw the food scraps down the sink, but if you got a septic, it's probably good. Just anything, you know, anything to help increase the life.
Yeah, but keep in mind that the enzymes are the bacteria breaking those things down. So it's just feeding those things, and you're really not unless you're left with like bone fragments. I mean, everything else is pretty well getting disposed of by the enzymes.
And speaking of that, that takes us to myth number 3 that many foods simply won't grind down, and really doesn't it depend on the disposal and the horsepower. Do you recommend one horsepower over another for?
Well, I mean, probably the small ones, that the little 1/3 horsepower jobs, they're not going to work very well. But I mean the modern InSinkErator, half horsepower on up. I mean those things, the little spoons that Greg's putting in his disposer, it's going to take care of those too. They're pretty powerful.
Chuck, I heard you had a 10 horsepower garbage disposal. Is that true?
Gas powered.
Sherry suggested that we get that. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, for putting bodies down. So
that grinds bone, ladies.
You don't want to grind bones. That's pretty obvious. All right, garbage disposal and wasting of energy that even most eco-conscious folks can't argue with the math on the average. The energy used to run a garbage disposal comes to, is this true that in my report that I have that it's less than 60 cents a year?
It's not much. I mean, how often are you running your garbage disposal and for how long? I mean, you're not using a lot of electricity. You're using some water to flush the pipes.
Well, apparently I'm going to be doing it longer than I used to.
True.
Yeah.
But on that point, though, that the running of the water, it amounts to a standard about a gallon a day.
Yeah.
And that, to put that in perspective, toilets typically use what, more than a gallon for each time you flush?
About a gallon. Well, I mean, modern toilets are going to be about a gallon and a half. So you got that. I mean, think about a shower and bath, and uses a lot of water compared to the disposal.
Has anyone ever heard the myth that you put ice cubes down the garbage disposal to sharpen the blades?
Yes, my mother was taught that by her father back in the 50s. So my mother always put ice down. It's like, Mom, there are no blades. This isn't like a blender, with blades in it. This is,
I was always told to drop down a part of a lime or a lemon.
That'll freshen it up. That's good. Make it smell better. There's other chemical products you can use. There's these cool soap packets that you put in. You churn them up, and they have the blue foam come squirting out the top of it.
Squirting? Ah.
Yeah, it does. Excellent. It's like a blue volcano.
I never saw that. Okay.
Yeah, they're a little bag that you put in, grind it up, add water to it, and they clean things out.
So don't use ice cubes because you don't have blades to sharpen.
No.
Eggshells? No, yes.
Well, eggshells are. I mean, there's an argument even in our house. My wife refuses to put them down. I put eggshells down. You just got to make sure you flush them through because they will set up like concrete.
Got it. Finally, hot water is putting hot water down the garbage disposal the way to go.
No, the problem with hot water is that any of the fats that you have that are congealed or hardened up, they will now be liquefied, and then all you're doing is just adding layer upon layer to your pipes.
All right.
So no, not hot water.
There you go. Some of the myths surrounding garbage disposal. By the way, coming up a little later on after the break, improvements new homeowners should tackle first if you're buying a new or resale home. If you want more information about us, the Sokoler team, you can head to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com and see some videos from our sellers, or also go to LouisvilleZillow.com. Chuck from Jonas, he says he's been renting out his home for the past 4 years, and he's tired of working with renters, so he wants to sell the house. The problem is the renter left the house a disaster, and Jonas says the security deposit will not cover the repairs of the walls or flooring. Does Jonas have any legal action, Chuck?
Absolutely. You just have to get a baseline of what damages are involved. So he has to fix the place. So go ahead and fix it. Deduct, obviously, the good faith deposit, or the security deposit, I'm sorry. And then the difference is what you sue him for.
Then as long as you can go after him, the next location.
Now that's presuming that he's jumped through all the right hoops, okay? Because at the very beginning of the lease, you have to do a comprehensive list of damages, the cost to repair, and get everybody to sign off on it. Now you're supposed to do the same thing at the end of the lease and get them to sign off or dissent. And if they refuse to do it, well, then he's in pretty good shape. But you have to actually jump through the hoops. Now, if you don't jump through the hoops, you don't have a security deposit. The statute's pretty clear about that. So just need to make sure that he's got all his paperwork up front.
So just FYI, that's important to have an attorney that you're working with if you're going to get into the rental business or you are going to lease out a property. I'll give you Chuck's phone number in just a moment. He's the guy, because I'm telling you, he does a great job, and he's easy to get to, which is probably the most important thing. A quick reminder, we're going to check on home improvements to tackle first in a couple of minutes after we come back from the break. Chuck's phone number, just so you know, as I mentioned, the Crosby Law offices at 499-6360. And if, by the way, because we're in our COVID shows where we're not actually in the studios over at 840 WHAS, we don't have the ability to put your phone calls into the show. So that's why I'm reading you. Email me your questions. And you can reach me, bob@WeSellLouisville.com, and just put radio question in the subject line, and we'll use them on the air, and let us know if you want us to use your name or not. Also with us, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. Their new number, 844-411-TEAM. Oh, look, it's ringing already.
Are you ready?
Oh, sorry.
Calls are coming
That's
in.
Quick.
That's fast.
844-411-TEAM for Brad Lawler and Home Team Inspection Service. My son, Greg, who does all of our marketing and photography and so much more. And you can reach me anytime, day or night, weekends as well, just after the show. 376-548-3502, 376-5483. Back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, the Louisville Real Estate Show. Bob Sokoler here with you. Thank you so much, Barbara Corcoran, who is my mentor and friend, and I appreciate everything that she consults with us on. Here with us for the rest of this half hour, we've got Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law offices at 499-6360. Also Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 844-411-TEAM. My son Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime, 376-5483. Okay, I know Chuck recently purchased a condo. Brad does home inspections all the time. I just 3-4 years ago bought a new house, and son Greg just built a new house. So home improvements or home items we all should tackle. First, making sure to keep away rain. Climate changes have brought heavy rains and storms to parts of the country, and so you want to make sure your gutters, downspouts are clear of not only leaks, but leaves and debris. Next, tighten the envelope. Homes that are not well sealed allow warm air to escape, especially this time of the year, and cool air in the summer. So make sure they're tight, meaning that you're not getting a lot of loss of air going through windows and doors. And again, look for cracks, right, Brad? In a very short nutshell, you can see crack of light coming through a window or door. You're losing power or
especially under the doors. Doors change shape a little bit as they as houses get older. Just look for light coming in, and put the caulk around the windows.
I don't know, Chuck or Greg, Well, Brad, I know myself on the house that I bought, in one of the rooms in the master bedroom, under the door, there was you could see light coming in. So I bought that thing. You know, they advertise it on TV, like as seen on TV. It's like 2 tubes, and then this fabric that goes under holding the tubes close to the door. It worked. I
Yeah.
mean, it really does cut down on it. So anyway, just a thought. You want to inspect the foundation, make sure there are no cracks as you've gone through. Hopefully you've had a home inspection. They would have raised that question, but also make sure that as you go through year to year that you're checking the foundation. Inspect the roof, make sure that you don't see shingles that are upturned. Update the lighting. We've talked about this on this show many times before. If you're using older incandescent light bulbs, they increase the energy cost, where LEDs will work wonders. And Greg will tell you to try to get LEDs, what is it, in the 26 to 3000 K range? That's the color temperature?
Yeah. I mean, anything on the cooler side, when you get the more blues, it's starting to kind of be a trend where back in the day it was kind of more of a yellowish, warmer tint. You know, it's all to the eye, but when you come in and you walk into it, you don't want it to feel too sterile. You don't want it to feel too old and yellow. So there's a happy medium. Yeah,
2600, 2800, even 3000 K. It's more of a warm feeling, whereas the 5000 K, it gives you the feeling of an office or a hospital. You want to make sure your air conditioning and heating is serviced on twice a year, and then prepare for outages. Make sure you got candles and flashlights and updated batteries. Maintain wood if you see wood. Brad, what's a good sign of termites? If the wood starts showing holes, what would you say the easiest thing to do? Let's see.
Now here we're probably going to see little dust specks before we see actually holes in the wood. We'll see, you know, dust in places that there shouldn't be dust, or you'll see a little tiny hole in your drywall. You know, that's kind of where you'll see mud tubes sometimes on the outside of your foundation. That's how the termites here move around, is in mud tubes and subterranean. Yeah.
Finally, chimneys. How often should all of us who have chimneys, whether and is there a difference for firewood versus gas? How often should they be inspected by a chimney sweep?
Yeah, if you're burning wood, if you're actually using wood, then I mean, I'm going to recommend a chimney sweep every year to take a look at it, because creosote builds up, and that's where you get chimney fires. Gas, I don't know, you know, that it's necessary on, you know, any real frequency. I don't know exactly what the maintenance schedule would be on gas, but you definitely want to make sure that all the burners are clean and dust is cleaned up before you fire up your gas logs for the first time each year. Make sure the damper is cracked open so that the exhaust gases can escape too. One other thing, Bob, you know, gutters right now, people need to make sure their gutters are cleaned out and water is moving from downspouts away from the foundation.
Because you can get leaks in the foundation. Also, water backs up if it freezes underneath the roof shingles, and you got a problem there. Yeah,
sure does.
Good. A new survey out, 45% of consumers are saying that they would move if bosses continue to allow remote work. Chuck, I know you have at least one employee at the front desk. Would you allow him or her to, and also your wife, to work from home if they could, as opposed to coming in every day? Have you thought about that? And
we've already done it in some instances. When the governor told us to drop a number of people here, we had Robert go home, computer setup, printers, scanners. So we've already done it.
We're seeing a major shift in how people are going to work down the road.
Well, for large companies, it's cost effective. If you don't have to bring somebody in and they can pay for their own internet, their own overhead, and then you give them a computer to work off of, and they can travel around. Now, instead of working 9 to 5, you can work 8:30 to 7:30 and the weekends and expect it because you've got the stuff set up. Google, all these large companies out in Silicon Valley, done. They don't need to come back. There are some old school offices that will hang on simply because you own the office. Why are you gonna out? You own this. You don't need to send people out because you've already got the cost. But for people that can, you see commercial. We are going through a great reshuffle in the next.
I'm just telling you, all the commercial buildings can be repurposed if we just think about it and reformatted for condos. Very simple changes. May not be as much light as you want coming in from windows, but this is because there's a housing shortage. This is the answer down the road for that. Chuck, this comes from Bill, and he is saying, I'm buying my very first house. Congratulations, Bill. And he says, I'm in the process of preparing to move out of my apartment this past Friday. This is going to sound familiar. My agent called and told Bill that the seller's new home is not ready, and the seller is refusing to move out until it's ready. And that's not what they agreed upon. It's not in the contract. Are there any that's what I'm saying. This is not the only time we've heard this. What would you suggest to Bill at this point?
Well, there's always a couple ways to handle it. If he's moving out of an apartment, he's the one that has to get out because he's going to have issues on the other side of the deal. Now, you were saying something about this Friday, and clearly he's probably got to the end of the month before he has to get out. But so there's a little flexibility available. But the seller, has to stick by the contract. It may be contingent in some regards to other deals, but probably not on this issue. Now, what happens? Worst case scenario, our guy doesn't get out of the house, so the buyer has to go and get, say, an extended stay for a little while. That sounds to me an awful lot like damages. So it would be something to talk to an attorney about.
Now, would that come from you as a closing attorney, or do you refer?
No, that would have to come from someone else. As a closing attorney, you represent the lenders. In a case like that, that would definitely be a conflict.
Got it. Okay, moving on. Another issue, you might find this somewhat interesting, depending upon your household. When it comes to putting toilet paper on the roll, on the roller, does the toilet paper go over the top, or does it hang under the bottom? It's an age-old question.
No, it's not. It's a fact.
Okay,
it goes over the top.
It goes over the top. There's a word for people that go under the bottom, but we won't. It's family friendly. It goes over the top.
Greg,
over the top.
No kidding. There is an inspector in town that will, when he sees them go underneath, he snaps it as a defect and includes it in his report just as a little bit of levity. Yeah, for real. He does it. It's just his little trademark thing. But yeah, he does. It's hilarious.
There's no age-old question here, Bob.
Over the top. All right. So it's the actual answer has been confirmed. Should the end of the toilet paper hang over the top of the roll or be tucked underneath? And according to an 1891 patent by New York businessman Seth Wheeler, who actually was the inventor of the toilet paper itself, it goes over the top. Credited by some as America's founding father of toilet paper, Wheeler patented the first perforated wipes in 1871, and he launched his Albany Perforated Wrapping Paper Company in
I'll tell you why.
1977.
It's all because of the perforation, right? So if it's under and you try to tear it from under, chances are you don't have that force against that perforation, so you'll end up pulling more toilet paper. But when it's over the top and you pull it in towards you, it's creating that force, so it's not the gravity's not pulling the roll down. I'm telling you, it's a thing, and it's real.
Just so you know, 70% of people polled by CNET prefer the paper over the top, just so you know.
That's not a preference. It's
not a preference. It's a thing.
Okay. All right. That's fine. You guys got it. I hear you loud and clear. I was one for under, but now I'm going over. Okay, great. Finally, I can't leave it on that type of fact. Right.
No wonder at the house, every time you go in after Bob, the toilet paper is rolled laying on the floor because the gravity just continues.
Oh, that's baloney.
I'm just messing around.
Really? Yeah. Rising home prices going to create windfalls for homeowners. New survey that's just been done based on information. Third quarter, the average homeowner in Louisville and around the country, for the most part, had gained about $17,000 in average in equity year over year. Now, if you break it down more specifically to the Louisville area, for most parts of the area, we're looking, when you factor in the differences, we're at $10,000 increase in property value. That is great news, don't you think?
That's what's it's gonna flood next year. We're gonna see some crazy things when things hopefully start to get back to normal and people start to move around and feel around. There's gonna be a lot of reshuffling is the word I'm hearing.
We are just about out of time. I just want to take a moment to tell all of you how thankful we are for all of you as listeners, and my thanks to our participants, all the participants of this radio show. The holiday seasons are a great time to give out thanks, but we're especially thankful this year to the caregivers, the doctors and nurses, and the scientists who helped to put together that COVID vaccine in various forms. This has been 1 year for the ages. We'll wrap the year up next week, but certainly just an amazing what we've gone through, all of us, and we've survived, many of us, and our thoughts are with those who did not survive and their families. So thank you, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices. You can reach Chuck anytime on his cell phone or his office phone at 499-6360. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 844-411-TEAM. My son, Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime, day or night at 376-5483. Guys, happy holidays to you.
Happy Festivus.
See you.
Yes, and to all of our listeners, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps it up for 2 weeks for you or whatever. I guess
Yep.
that's we may, I'm trying to think, just looking at the big old calendar that I have on my laptop. We've got
Going on, the market's down.
so we're on the 20th, then the 27th, we've got something. 20th and the 27th, and then the 3rd is, so we're back on the 17th. Actually, we're shooting our next shows on the 13th with you guys, just so you know.
Okay.
Unless I just want to make sure neither of you are gone.
No, well,
No.
even if I were, got a phone.
No, that's true. That is very true. Boy, and Chuck, you would have normally have been on your cruise right about now, right? Had this whole COVID thing.
Yeah, I think Tuesday is when we're leaving. We're not going on the cruise. We're headed to the desert.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Where at? Arizona?
Grand Canyon. Sedona.
Well, oh,
Nice.
yeah. Amazing.
So-
Fantastic.
Are you going to do a walk down into the Grand Canyon?
So I wanted to jump out of a helicopter into the Grand Canyon, but
Are you
apparently they don't do that.
Amazing.
What about donkeys? Can you ride a donkey? Can you ride a donkey? Take an ass
would
down
ride
to
a
the
donkey,
canyon?
but no, we'll be hiking around it. Sherry's really looking forward to finding Broken Arrow Trail because I can't believe they have a name for it.
It's got a broken
movie
arrow.
reference. Anybody
Yeah,
going to catch the movie reference there?
No, I didn't.
No, I
No,
missed
what
that.
you're waiting for us.
Yeah, not Christian Slater, John Travolta fans, are we?
A broken arrow. I mean, isn't that the movie Broken Arrow?
Yeah,
is what you're referring to? Oh, that was too obvious.
Yeah, but Broken Arrow is supposed to be the name for when you lose a nuclear missile. And one of the characters, Broken Arrow, I can't believe they have a name for that.
Yeah, it went right over.
It's like
As well.
reindeer over our heads.
Well, just note, take toilet paper
Mhm.
if you do any walk into the canyon. Friends of mine years ago told me that there's no bathrooms down there.
Yeah,
Just bring a shovel.
yeah.
It's true.
I understand there's a bottle of Pappy down there, Pappy 20 somewhere.
Hidden. It's probably pretty hot by now. Maybe.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah, that's so good.
It's evaporated. Yeah, no kidding.
All right,
It's
guys.
just the bottle. No liquid.
That's right.
Take care of yourselves. Be good.
All right.
See you in a couple of weeks, and I'll
We'll see you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.